A gute Woche, a gut Moed, well, a gute Woche, a good Yar, a good Yom Tov. We are going to begin momentarily. A gute Woche, Rabbi Liberov. Can you hear us, Rabbi Liberov? We can't hear you. Rabbi Liberov?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, koyach, we hear you. Okay. Give us a moment. We're going to get started. Yasher koyach, we hear you.
Thank you.
Da da ya da ya da ya 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 ya
I don't know to say a good Vach, a good Yontif, or whatever it is, but we have just finished the incredible Yontif of Pesach. We've just finished, many of us, the Seudah Moshiach, and each and every one of us is drunk, I hope, Arba cases, and each and every one of us is in a mood of Mashiach. Over the years, the Rebbe spoke about Mashiach in many different ways. And sometimes he spoke about it with a tremendous pneumistic pain, that why is Mashiach not here? And all the excuses that Rebbe said are no longer value. We have to have Mashiach now. So watch the video carefully as the Rebbe speaks about Mashiach in very, very real and painful terms.
a viele in Sechel der Nusch. Sagen, als das Wort in Sechel die Gdusche. Was kommt da Rede oder Bechule, sie bleibt noch als die Scheile bei Kehl Jochel. Darf nicht sagen, kommen sie dann in die alle in Jahre. Wir können geben den ganzen Sturm ungewöhnlich. Alachas kamen bekam und in Jahren Bilder ist zu ist. In Gewur ist Gufe, a Geride in Gewur. Und mis Masbi, aber soll glauben, Apel Kivas nicht hören durch Chinas Worte, ist mir Masbi, aber soll wissen sein, als wir sein Eitra Weihe, verkehren Afterwit. Besser dort die Scheile, Lichiere, was dort der Ebste gedacht behalten. Teire wird dann gerufen, Teire, und der Ebste in Masbi kam in Jon, soll sich legen in Sechel oder, a viele in Sechel der Nusch. Schöle, Alachas kam in Sechel der Kischele. Und dann noch sagen, also da eine einzige Linie, wo das technisch Galle werden lassen war. Und wie wir sagen, wir passen, mit da kein Gilo. Was darf man haben, den Mater nicht? Von Schinte begaluso, Moshiach begaluso, Kollechet wachs Misol begaluso. Und an Neven von Heilig und Mesiv, Nikla Malius, Eilach je, Shein, Meruba Mishal Chavei. Ich weiß das, dass der einzige Bier, was man das Meilen gewählt, der Rebischer gewollt, aber so schreiben bei Mitzis. Ich mache Kevin Kol Haye. Also wissen, als Worte, oder der Munde, oder Kol von ihm an die Kude. Als da gute Sachen Golos, kann nicht sein, dass so schreiben, dass seine David abzukommen. Heiles Atzmiach mit den ganzen Stühlen, ich da eine Kude, ist ein Nefischer Kies. Was sagt ein Herr Zachai, sie hat ihn drauf Atieles. Und der Rebischte will das mit, also sehr glatt. Viele soll haben am Munde Pschüter. Als Tevi Yosher Hawaii, wie man soll haben am Munde Pschüter. Als Eitra ja Naftabi, aber Eitras wie Scholle, das wir so hoplegen bis Seichel. A viele in die Kudes a Seichel. Konnte dann noch nicht schreien mit den Stühlen, wo der Rebischte wie lange soll schreien, als Kivinu Kola. In ganz Hedel Schlauchung, in ganz Sinne von Teil Mitzvit. Jid soll sagen in Golos. Wer redt noch in dem Golos von Nikvis in dem Schiche und in der Ruf Gufe, als durchgegangen Heche, 1900 Jahre, war da überhaupt schon sagt mir, dass Liebe der Pumet legal, viele der Pumet, aber Kodesh Baruch Hu, sagt mir, dass Afro Pikei darf sein, als Simcha Gdele Bejeser Bichlal. Und Simcha Amitis, nicht schon gemachte, und soll missalig sein. Die Goyimebel, die Scheusebel, da alle in Jönnen am Wabbel in die Simcha, wo das ist noch zuheilen, in den Teres Geder HaGolus, und sie wird mit Mannen Meier sein, wie es Moshiach Sidkenu, a viele, das wird mit Meier sein, Rega Chad. Allah's kama, das ist mit Meier sein. Bekam Shois und bekam Yomi Vechulu und mir betrachtst aber das Ressach wegen Eini und wegen Shishim Ribu Misra und wegen Kol Adel Sheb Israel Shebam Israel, wo sie stehen zusammen mit uns in Golus. Wollen sie sein nach Nischi und sie gefinden sich in dem Mami der Masse von Del Shebehewe, wo es ihnen gefinden sich nicht Begufim, wo das am Matze von Golus. Gefinden sich Isser begolus alle Deles von alle Jiden, von sind Matten Tele, Atzef Koladel. Gefinden sich Eretitze, sind Matten Tele. Ich beschaß mir nennt Sei Alleme, zusammen mit Moshiach Sidkenu, bereits mit Moshiach Sidkenu, zusammen mit Schinte begolus. Ich kann da sich vorstellen, was heißt, ein Rege früher, wenn das Ressach wegen dem ganzen Kohl Godel, zusammen mit Godel Hawaii Bilal Kein. Allah es kamo vekamo, das halt zu mehr wie ein Rege Echod, mehr wie ein Scheit Echod und mehr wie Jem Echod.
So there we heard clearly from the Rebbe some very important words about how we have to feel about being in Golus and how we have to feel about Mashiach. How we have to feel about Golus and how we have to feel about Mashiach. And now it gives me pleasure to ask the Rav of the Hasidim Shul, Rabbi Nassan al-Shachar, to share a few words for us of Chizuk. Rabbi Shachar.
A good vach, a good year. Firstly, l'chaim, to good health, to b'suras toivus, to gula Yeshua, to the prat and to the klal, l'chaim. If I may, dear say, and I'm sure I speak on behalf of many, I'm sharing the panel here tonight. A number of distinguished individuals, but I'd like to point out in particular Rabbi Mendel Liberov, who's joining us here this evening. It's nothing short of Maaseh Hashem, Yedei Hashem, not just Etzbai Lekim, but Yad Hashem. It's amazing to see you. It's amazing to see the manifestation of HaKadosh Baruch Hu's Hanhoga L'mayla Min HaTeva, which is now embodied by you in the form of health. Yiratzin, that may you go mechael al choil to refuah shlema kreva. We're davening for you. We're thinking of you. And Emir Hashem, we look forward to dancing with you to the Gula Amitis Vashlema Lachaim. Maskirin Yetzias Mitzrayim Baleilos. Even in the darkness of Golus, that we speak of Yetzias Mitzrayim, and we remind ourselves of our achrayats. We remind ourselves of the achrayas lahavi lemaisa Mashiach. It's both. It's Ben Zoyma and the Chachamim. Maskirin Yetzias Mitzrayim Baleilos. 25 years on, and the message may have either gotten lost or gotten somewhat old. It's a choshech kafel u'mechubel, but we remind ourselves that the message still rings strong, and it still rings clear. That our tafkid, the tafkid of Dor HaShvi, is lahavi l'maisa Moshiach, is not to restore ourselves to a place pre-crisis, but to take us to a place where we've never been before, a place that eliminates.
Baruch, come get your medicine. Baruch.
Any sort of difficulty. Mashiach comes and is ultimately a mirror reflection of each of our avodas. Mashiach is a national, Mashiach is a global, it's a collective reality, and it can only be achieved by dint and as a result of our own efforts. And if we need to understand what it is that it is up to us to do, all that we need to do is reflect on and recall Pesach of Yetzias Mitzrayim. There is a formula, there is a strategy in which the Pesach needs to be eaten. There's a formula and there's a strategy in which and with which a Yid needs to engage Golus. It's a strategy with which a Yid goes ahead and achieves Geula in his or her own personal life. And when we achieve Geula in our personal lives, we go ahead and have laid another brick to the structure of the Beis HaMikdash. There were 3 requirements in Pesach Mitzrayim. Osnechem chagurim, na'alechem beraglechem, u'makelchem beyetchem. We needed to have a belt round our waist. We needed to have shoes on our feet, and we needed to have a stick, a rod, a staff in our hands. These 3 requirements were the groundwork of the very first hemshech that we know of in Chassidus. And these 3 requirements were constantly Farbrengen about by the Rebbe year after year in Achron Shel Pesach Farbrengens. A person needs a belt round their waist because a person's standing needs to be secure. A person needs to have emunah. In the absence of emunah, an individual lacks the ability, an individual lacks the strength, lacks the conviction with which he or she needs to move forward. Na'alechem beraglechem, a person needs to be able to move forward and yet remain immune to the environment which surrounds them. And ultimately, makelchem beyetchem, a person needs to be able to hold a stick in their hand. A person needs to be able to at times remain true to who they are, despite the absence of reasoning and despite the absence of feeling. These 3 are necessary in each and every single area in life. In every area of life, you've got the leap of faith. And speaking to somewhat of the younger bracket of the community, if I may for a moment, closing a shidduch is a leap of faith. You have no idea who it is that you're going to marry. Going out on a date is a leap of faith. We can remain complacent and closed where we are, but the first step to a geula in the form of building our own homes is emunah, is blind faith in moving forward. Mosnechem chagurim is what's required to take the first step in building your own home, b'gashmius, and the same is true and applies b'ruchnius. It doesn't make sense. It's be'eretz midbar and be'eretz lo zerua. You're going into uncharted territory. You don't know if you believe yourself. You don't know if you know yourself. And for all that you know, it's not necessarily a reality that you want. But at times in life to move forward, what you need is emunah. I don't know if Golus, and as Rabbi Lipsker always says, we want Moshiach now. Maybe you can wait till after Pesach. I've got my July holidays booked. He's coming. Let him come soon. At times to move forward, just have emunah. Number 2, na'alechem beraglechem. The reality of life is that it will present you with pain. The people that cut themselves the most are the people who stand in the kitchen. The people who burn themselves the most are the people who stand in the kitchen. You want to be safe, remain in bed. You don't want to fight with anybody in life, remain a bachelor or bachelorette for the remainder of your life on earth. You don't want to be angry at the Eibishter, remain in bed and divorce yourself from him. But there needs to be a degree of resilience in life. There needs to be na'alechem beraglechem, steel-toed boots throughout the 90s and early 2000s was the greatest fashion to hit North America. We need to be able to have the resilience within us. Masnechem chakurim was the belief that we need to have. Na'alechem beraglechem is the resilience to be able to engage in the experience. Come what may, the highs and the lows, the good times and the bad, the hisayrus and lack thereof, the chizuk and the rifyon. Na'alechem beraglechem means that you can walk through whichever environment and remain strong. And finally and lastly, makelchem biyetchem, the ability to hold a stick. We cannot allow life, we cannot allow a commitment to Yiddishkeit, we cannot allow the closing of a shidduch. We cannot allow anything about our human experience to be subjected to the limits of our own understanding and feeling. Mendel of Kotsk once said famously, I would never want to believe in a God whom I did understand. Because if the Eibishter is an entity that you do believe in, all that you believe in is in your own mind. A shidduch takes Kabbalah's all. Hiskashrus takes Kabbalah's all. Emunah and the Eibishter takes a Kabbalah's all. It's not sechel and it's not midas. And these three tools are the keys to the transformation of an individual's embrace of Yiddishkeit, ben Adam lamokim, ben Adam lachaverei. It's what's vital in building a Yiddish home. It's vital in exploring a shidduch, closing a shidduch, and it's vital in any and every area of life, which ultimately culminates in a geula pratis. The blind belief that you need to move forward, the resilience in the experience, and the determination to do such despite anything that we encounter. That's true of Shachris, Mincha, and Ma'ariv, it's true of Chitas Rambam, and it's true of taking the very next step which we need to. And so L'chaim, to each of these 3 points, V'kocha, it's this way that we achieve it. Emunah, move forward. You don't know where you're going, it's okay, just go. Number 2, na'alechem beraglechem, there's going to be pain. There are setbacks in life, there are setbacks in emunah. You have a rifin in kiyum mitzvahs. It's all right, get yourself a steel toe. Allow yourself to be shock absorbent. And number 3, be determined. Determination by definition is an irrational form of behavior. It's commitment, it's conviction, and it's ultimately a testament to who we are. L'chaim, to a geula pratis, and to a geula klolis. L'chaim.
L'chaim, Rabbi Shochat, L'chaim v'livrocha, Rabbi Lipsker.
We're now going to see a video of Keshel Bracha. We're on Meitzai, Achar Shel Pesach, the Rebbe gave Keshel Bracha to all those who were there.
Und tut alles, was ich kennt.
benevole geesje, goeie amin. Je met veel zitten aan mij ze. Zwaar die mooie maal, je met kennis begin.
So we've just seen how the Rebbe gave Keshel Bracha to each and every individual. Doesn't matter his background, doesn't matter how he looked. Each and every single individual received Keshel Bracha from the Rebbe. It now gives me immense pleasure to ask Rabbi Liberov to say a few words, a chaver, a shliach, a rav in our community, and an individual who has a tremendous schus. And the schus that he has is that he is the one who showed us revealed miracles. For days and days and days and days and days, we said Tillim on his behalf. And it was a matzav of, well, great difficulty. And the Eibishter showed Nisim v'niflois, and he was able to come home mitzvah Yontif. And therefore, it gives me immense pleasure to ask my dear friend and chaver and colleague, Rabbi Mendel Liberov, to share a few words with us. Rabbi Liberov.
Good year. Houder Adonai Kitev, Kiva Elam Chastei. It's the first opportunity I have in speaking. I want to take this opportunity thanking the Eibishter for the Nisim v'nifloes that I was zeicher to see and to experience over the last few weeks. I'm learning now over the last few days, speaking to people, to my family, of the immense nisim that took place. And I want to take this opportunity of thanking Chaverai, my friends, my family, my community, Eden, Anash, the Joba community and the worldwide community, for the Tehillim and the Tfilas and the Achlatus Tevis and all those wonderful things that were done, that no doubt helped my miraculous recovery. I had a lot of time to think over the last few weeks. And that which maybe struck me most was the achdus, the oneness, the unity, the togetherness, the chavashaft that was displayed by Yidden from all walks of life. So one of the doctors said to me of a Chalamoid, this was a nes godel min hashemayim. To another doctor, I said, 1 to 10, where was I? Without thinking, he said, you were 11. But you came back. And I believe I'm back. I know I'm back. We're all back. We're all here. Please God, gesundheit and veiligheid. Because we have a shlichus to do in this world. So I was watching the shiurim that were held in Bashachat range over Chalamoid. Rabbi Kalmanson, Erev Yontiv related a story with Rabbi Gershon Ber Jacobson. On one occasion, he spent in hospital, and his son Simon went past the Rebbe, and the Rebbe gave him lekach. And he gave him a piece for his father, and he said, he should give this to his father. And he should tell him when his shlichus finishes in the hospital, he'll come home. And he finished his shlichus and he came home. No doubt I was there for shlichus as well, where I was speaking to people and sharing ideas with people when I could. And I'll come home, but we're all home again. We're here for shlichus to bring Moshiach. As Lipska began speaking tonight, Kutvach, Kutyo, it's a Kutvach, it's a Kutyo, it's a Kutazum, as the Rebbe says after Pesach. It should be, as we said, in the Yal V'Yavai throughout Pesach, throughout the benching, throughout the tefillas. So Hashem Elokeinu Beila Teva. The Eibusha should remember us Beila Teva for good. Ufakdeinu Ve'le Vracha, and to remember us, Livracha for Bracha. V'She'enu Ve'le Chaim Tevim, and bring us Yeshua's L'Chaim Tevim for good life. We must remember at this point there's still hundreds and thousands of Yidden who are suffering in pain, who are sick and need a refuah shlema. Let's take the powers that we have and the opportunities that we have from the brachas and the koichas that come following Pesach. The Rebbe says it goes into the Shabbos after Pesach and it continues beyond, to think about, to continue davening for, and to ask the Eibusher and tear the heavens that all Yidden should be gesund. And having concluded Seudah Moshiach Begashmis, but Baruch it goes on, it continues, it never finishes. And the Rebbe always speaks about the Mashiach dance, the dance of Mashiach. This goes back to the early years of the Rebbe's Asiyas, to the beginning of the 50s and the Yuds. And the Rebbe said Mashiach dance can be translated or understood in one of two ways. Either this is a dance which is a preparation for the coming of Mashiach, or one can say, says the Rebbe, this is a dance that Mashiach himself dances with. And the Rebbe says, it's up to us how to explain it. So the Rebbe says, we'll take what suits us, what's good for us. And we'll go for the second explanation. That when it comes to the Mashiach dance and Mashiach Seudah on the Achron Shel Pesach, the Pshat is Mashiach is with us, is Mishtatev, he participates with us, and he's dancing with us. He's dancing with us, his dance, Mashiach's dance. So the Eibusher should help. But the dance that we had, Begashvis around our tables with our families, with friends, if we were able to, should be the dance of Mashiach, and Mashiach dance with us. And we should be Zeicha ultimately to go straight from this situation into that of from Golus. We should break down and burn down. And the lockdown should be a thing of the past. No one should be restricted to the movements, restricted to the homes, but on the contrary, the world, the Golus will break through, and Yidden and have to go and will all come to the Beis Hamikdash HaShlishi, take her from Yad Mamish, and the young and the old, and everybody, Yidden, and Havdil Goyim as well, will all come to Beis Hamikdash HaShlishi to see and to dance from Mashiach Tzidkenu. Take her from Yad Mamish. Once again, I take this opportunity and thank you for the bottom of my heart, for the tefillas and the tehillim and all the great things you did, which helped my refuah shlema. Yidden should all be gesund wherever they are around the world. And we should see Mashiach take over from Yad Mamish now.
Chaim Rabbi Liberov. Oh, Elokeinu, Avinu, oh, Malkeinu, oh, Moshiach, oh, Yeshienu, V'yigolenu. Ay, 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 say this nekoroi, V'yashvienu, ay,
Kol chai lemer, hein go al piesem, achrit, kivereishis li, yois lachem, leiloikim, hein go al piesem, achrit, kivereishis li, yois lachem, leiloikim, la 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 la. Da la la ya da da la 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 ay ya da la ya 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 da la ya ya da la da yo elokeno avino oh malkeno meshi Abeno babei kechade neranino v'nismecha v'chol yameino v'shuva Hashem adnosai v'inochim alav adecha Abeno babei kechade neranino v'nismecha v'chol yameino neranino v'nismecha v'chol yameino oh neranino Benis mecha, benis chol yameinu. Oyeno el avodecha molecha, vador chaminei einu. Hashem Elokeinu aleinu. Oyeno el avodecha molecha, vador chaminei einu. Hashem Elokeinu ayalei oya masay yodei Canaan overlaying oh masay yodei no Canaan yo masay yodei no Canaan oh masay yodei no Canaan ay 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 ay
The prophets, the Talmudic sages, and the medieval Jewish scholars spoke and wrote extensively about Moshiach and the redemption. But over centuries of exile, there was a waning of emphasis on this basic belief.
You want Moshiach now?
The Rebbe campaigned to restore this core principle of Jewish faith to the forefront of the hearts and minds of every man, woman, and child.
Du, was steht sich in Achrein der Pirush, Aloschen, was steht der Gerschen ist.
Schaß mir sollten wir gehen, Kotten, sollten wir.
Kotten, wenn der Jäger Schiefrosch in die Stachel, Schaße kommt, den Ger, sagt man nicht Akkum oder so, oder Goschen ist geil, aber man sagt, Gerschen ist geil. Weißt du, der Schale hat sich mit geil, jeder hat sich mit geil, wenn sie nicht in Ger. Jeder hat sich mit geil, wenn er hat sich Israel. Ja, das ist der Rentschel, aber wie bald dann ist geil, das gut bei Koch, als frischen gewesen agert. Das hat gefällt, dass die in Jonne Gerus, das soll mal reinnehmen. In die Klall Israel, hat gedekach, soll haben, dem Chiv auf sich und dem Schuss auf sich und kol in Jonne Teiro mit Zwisser. Aber bei der mitossischen Linie ist frischen gewesen agert. Aber danach hat man gedacht, von dem Gier, und damit wird er gekotzt, eine schnelle Dome, was schnelle Dome, AVP, was ich lief nicht sehr, hat gelernt, Kola, Teile, Kulle, wenn Dele, Kalrische, Bechule. Was auch der sei, ich bei der Gehe, der kam in Jonim, als da beschaß mit Meere sein in der zweiten Nieden, in Jonim Tevi. Kehle lege de minen homer, als soll lege da rumgehen und soll stehen in der Tschuka Mitis. Mosa Jove und Admose und der Tschuka Mitis kommen lieb von der Nusser von Ani Maime. Ani Achakele bechol jem Jove. Als wartet auf ihm und mit Zappel die Biotische Moshiach. Das ist immer David Chomelis als mir. Mit dem ganzen Studium ist am Druck darf man haben. Amol, Idna, muss non kommen dabei, sei Israelis, Naid, oder Stadlis, oder in solch Apema Ruflegen, Chulu, Peel sein bei ihm, als soll haben in Druf trachten, bis wann bekommen in Druf ein Geschmack, aber mit tossischer Linien ist aber, das ein Gerschen ist geil in der Linie. Das nicht, was mit dem mechanisch gewesen, sagt, mit Bachut. Und man hat es auch reingebringt, zu einem Bifnim, Eibse Rätsel wegen Bies Moshiach, wo das ist verbunden mit der Gimelikim, und verbunden mit der Brache, Samer David Chomelis Atzmir, und verbunden in Bichas Amosen, Bechulu. Bezaribu in Jonim ist eine sichere Sache, als schön agiert in der Mine. Nur wenn dem diese Sieberschetie darf man ihm zuhelfen, durch was mit einem Geier sein, mit einem Stürmen oder bedarke Nehmen, bedarke Scholem, oder beteke von Massen, bis wann es mit dem Peel sein, und unter dem wird man Gott sehen, als halb geregelt sei, wer hat gedekach, bis wann es Jesu mit Masche Honi, Shabababais, Esim Honi Esim Bababais, wird noch mäßig sein. Heißen Sturen, bei dem was hat es in einem Peel gewählt. Und so da sehen wir, was von Meere, was ist, Honi mal reinmischen sich. In Chai war Proti, man, der Gosse war Proti von der zweiten Iden. Und ich frage noch, wollte das gehandelt? Wegen Akim mit Zwissesse oder bei Frusche mit Seudah, Schmiede von Zwissesse, hat gebrennt, kommt zu Jahren zu gehen und sagt dem Herr Zachaim, Teir hat mir geheißen, ich soll sich reinmischen in deine Jahren. Ich es an mich sagen, behaftet der Jache, der Chav und der Tichoch und beide Sachen zusammen. Jemin mit Kareves und nicht dann noch Deichel, was die Deichel, dann nicht Bismail, mit Duberli. Pschasse letztlich aber wegen Ajinim was Leid, Roa Visseina. Käme und nicht gehört von seinen Taten, aber bekam von seinen Seiden, als sein Tat oder sein Seid ist herumgegangen über die Gassen oder die weggestellt am Mietentor. Bei sich in Schulen hat gesagt, Iden schreit, ad Mose kommt nicht Moshiach. Was weiß ich, mit der jetzt nicht das von meinen Taten nicht gehört. Es kam von meinen Seiden nicht. Viele von sich allein, angekommen in Meres, wie ich das sonst so, in Nazis, Abris, wie das von sich allein nicht gehört. Was ich auch im Tunnel weiß ich nicht, aber das sehe die meisten. Aber wie bald das tut sich mit Stamm gesagt, wie ist es, wie soll es sein, AVP, was in die Gott genug hat, die was ein davon nicht zufrieden, Muskel bei ihm, aber wo ist das da ein Mensch, von welchem ist zufrieden? Aber das ist aber, wenn er Jodom, als der Issein ist, wenn er wird verbunden mit sich und mit selber, mit der Zweiten, mit der Dritten, und mit seinem Vater, und mit seinen Seiden, mit seinem Spiel, mit seinem Rob, wenn er muss er sein, als Piteva nicht zufrieden von der Zweiten. Aber bechol ist die Kedaya, viele der Nicht-Zufriedenkeit, beschaß mit Gitla Kuch, auf kleine Kinder, was sie schreien, da loi Golos. Allah, es kam wie kam, als ich in da, ach, Jeden, ach, lieber Mitzwe, was schreien schon nicht in Rusche, da loi Golos, das ist schreien in Niedisch, oder in Loschen Kedisch, und in welchen Nussach sie, Sabime, in demselben Minien und derselben Nekude.
That each and every one of us, in our own words, in our own language, calls out to Hashem. Enough of the Golos, we need Moshiach. I just want to point out one thing. The beginning of this this video, the Rebbe began to sing, "We want Moshiach now." When the Rebbe began to promote this particular song, "We want Moshiach now," the Rebbe gave us a lesson in English. He said, "What does the word want mean?" Not only want means I need something, but want means something is missing. When you say something is wanting, it means something is missing. Each and every one of us has to think, we want Mashiach now. What's missing? Why do I want Mashiach to come? Some people need parnasa. Some people need good health. Some people need shalom bayis. Some people need tachas for children. Each and every one of us is wanting in a particular sort of way. And we ask the Eibusher, he should send Mashiach, that each and every one of us should have our tefillahs fulfilled. But that's not enough. We want Mashiach now. We have to come to that level that the only thing that is wanting in our lives is the absence of Mashiach. And when we say it with a tremendous sense of devotion, and not only devotion, but absolute faith, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Eibusher, will respond in a positive way and send us Mashiach now. Many of us are just at the end of Mashiach Seudah now, but Mashiach Seudah never ends. It's an ongoing thing. But I have to say the following. Rabbi Isai, my brothers, my friends, roll up your sleeves. Now is the time to help your wives to put away the Pesach and to bring out the chametz. It's not an easy job. The fact that you had Arba cases, maybe you had Chamisha cases. This is not an excuse. Get together, do what you have to do, but Ahava with tremendous sense of joy and betochen, and the Eibusher will certainly bless us with the coming of Mashiach here and now, in the matzav that we're in the privacy and the isolation and the quarantine and the lockdown of our own homes. May we merit the coming of Mashiach now, now, now.
We want Moshiach now. We want Moshiach now. We want Moshiach now. We don't want to wait. We want Moshiach now. We want Moshiach now. We want Moshiach now. We don't want to wait. So we'll have no faith. Moshiach will be here this year. Yisrael will have
Fred, did you see your phone?
want Mashiach now. We
Sorry?
want now. We want Mashiach now. We don't want to wait. We want Mashiach now. We want Mashiach now. We want Mashiach now. We don't want to wait. A gute Woche, a gut Jahr. Mashiach soll schon kommen. L'chaim, v'livrocha, l'chaim, l'chaim.